Darla, another young athlete at her first invitational. How are you feeling about it?
I'm super excited and I'm like mega grateful to get the opportunity.
It is incredible. I was so grateful to meet you at the ENYO Foundation Women's Only Open Mat the other weekend. And you, Jamie. Jamie, Darla's dad. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi there, we're good.
Fantastic. So it's really great to be able to chat with you for the ENYO Submission Only Jiu Jitsu podcast and the ENYO 7 event at Central Hall in Southampton on Saturday, the 7th of June. If you haven't got your tickets already, go and get them now. And if you've missed it this time, make sure you buy tickets to support ENYO Grappling and ENYO Women's Only Submission events in the future. This episode is sponsored by Lee's Trade Tyres. At Lee's Trade Tyres, they always put the customer first, backed by more than 27 years of industry experience. Their tyre suppliers and fitters serve clients throughout Southampton, Hampshire, and surrounding areas. Whether you need tyre replacements and repairs or wheel alignments, they handle tyres of cars and motorcycles. Go and check out all the sponsors for ENYO 7 in the show notes. So, Darla, tell me about when you started training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
I think I started training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu when I was around like probably 7 years old. And I think I don't really know. I've been training it for a while, and I think like to have ENYO as my first invitational, then I'm just like super grateful for it.
It is really, really good. How did you first hear about Brazilian Jiu Jitsu?
My dad's like was walking past to Sousa Dojo, which was my first gym I trained at, and then because I was such like a quiet, intimate kid, he wanted to like up my confidence, so he started to put me into like the classes and everything.
Yeah, incredible. Now, do you remember that very first class?
Yeah, I remember like all the older kids were like helping me, and I was like probably one of the littlest ones in the class. But I was in love with it the first time I started.
That's so nice. I love hearing that all of us, when we start, we might not know what we're letting ourselves in for, but we all love it and we all stay and we all keep training for years and years. So those older kids helping you, how much what did you feel? I mean, that was obviously a great help to you that you weren't left on your own. You were supported by other young people. What was that feeling like?
I felt like really welcomed, and it was kind of like a good welcoming if it was my first time like starting the sport.
Nice. And I know that before we started recording, you want to kind of pay back some of that,
Yeah.
some of that kindness in being a coach for young people as well. Tell me a bit more about that.
I was like, because obviously people helped me like when I was little, and obviously still now. I just want to pay back that favor to other kids who want to do the same growing up.
Yeah. I think it's great for young people who may not feel quite so kind of loud and confident in society and life. We all have so many distractions, but doing something really quite physical and kind of mind developing like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is a fantastic way forwards and to learn. So you've progressed through the belts. You had some time off during COVID, which you told me about earlier. You've been training solidly for the last 3 years. Not necessarily building up to ENYO 7, your first invitational, but probably, in all fairness, I know you've been training a lot. Tell me about your training schedule.
Normally, because I'm like home educated now, I normally do like strength and conditioning, then like a midday kind of like jiu-jitsu class, and then I normally do 2 hours later in the day, like kids and adults.
That's really good. I love hearing that you have the balance of the strength and conditioning and kind of putting in those hours more than a couple of times a day or a couple of times a day. What keeps you going?
Definitely like the like funness of it and like the community, because it obviously like it helped boost my confidence a lot more, and it like helps me enjoy it a lot more, like having a female community and everything like that.
Nice. Now, I saw you at the ENYO Foundation Women's Open Mat. Open Mat's something you enjoy and go to quite a lot?
Yeah, I do really enjoy the open mats because like I've met loads of people like from it, and some of my best mates from like open mats and everything. And I'm really like grateful for the community, and especially where we all gather around that we can all talk about the same things.
Nice. I know some of the other young people, whilst there's lots of training, lots of different people to train with, they also enjoy the food on the side of the mats afterwards. I think there's some brownies, there's some cookies, and obviously loads of healthy food and grapes and lots of other things. But that's always a feature. Is that a feature for you as well?
Yeah, sometimes it depends with like cutting weight and stuff like that, obviously. Like the
Yeah.
down part and the up part about being an athlete.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things that you have to have kind of boundaries and focus and be completely dedicated because you have quite a vision ahead of you. Where do you see yourself in the future in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Darla?
I feel like I probably see myself maybe going like attending worlds in like when I'm maybe a black belt or something like that.
Nice. And I mean, for all of us, it's a long journey, but
Mm.
you're relatively young, and you've got so many years ahead of you. It is going to be fantastic, and having so much time to train and dedicate to the sport is incredible. Now, tell me about where you're currently training.
Where I train at Sun Quarter is really, really good gym because obviously like I'm close with everyone there now. And it's just like a good community in general, and then everyone there's really lovely. And then Ippon, they've got some lovely women and everything because there's a lot more women to train with there, and there's some teams my size. And obviously, like because you don't get a lot of women at other gyms, but I'm really grateful for like both of the gyms because Ippon, I used to train there when I was little, but like now I train there now, it's like it's really good because I have all those women and teenagers.
Amazing. I was speaking with Lisa Holdsworth, brown belt yesterday, and obviously she trains out of Ippon as well. And building the kind of female Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community is, it's thriving in Ippon, which I was absolutely, overwhelmed and kind of fantastic to hear. But is Lisa one of your coaches?
Yeah, she normally helps out in the kids class quite a lot, and like she's always been really supportive of me. Same with Jeff, Leo, Paolo, and all my other coaches like that.
Incredible. So you're training at home, you're doing the strength and conditioning. How many times are you making it out to training at these clubs a week?
I normally cross train at a lot of gyms, but I normally go to about 6.
Wow. So that's pretty much every day. Do you
Yeah,
have rest time in that?
yeah. I normally do get a rest normally on Mondays because obviously, like, if I didn't have a rest day, I'd probably be like dreading it.
Absolutely. It's all about balance and looking after yourself,
Yeah,
and it sounds like you're very much doing that. This is the ENYO Submission Only Jiu Jitsu podcast with me, Lou Temlett, talking with all of the upcoming ENYO 7 competitors and sponsors. One of the things that would really help this show grow is by you subscribing on whichever platform you are listening or watching on. And if you could do that for me right now, I'd be forever grateful. And as always, go and check out the clips on YouTube and Instagram at ENYO Grappling. Today, I'm having a chat with Darla Anderson. Darla, so your first invitational. Are you excited? Are you nervous? What's happening for you for ENYO 7?
I've kind of got mixed feelings about it. Like, I'm excited, but I'm nervous at the same time because obviously, where it's like my first invitational. But like, I am like really grateful for the opportunity, especially like being against such a skilled opponent like Alexis. Is so I'm like really like shocked it was my first invitational.
That's so good. It's so good. I mean, I think, sometimes we have to do the hard things in life and just
Mhm.
throw ourselves into these competitive opportunities because you never know where they're going to lead you. And I must say, I feel like you're very brave taking the step and, it being your first invitational. But it sounds like you're preparing and are going to do absolutely fantastically. Um,
Thank you.
I know so many of the competitors have chosen walk-on songs. I won't ask you what it is just yet. We will wait and see on Saturday. But did it take you long to decide?
Yeah, I was like, because there's so many songs that I wanted to choose, but it's like I just had to choose one. So it was like quite frustrating at the same time.
Now, is it kind of describing your personality? Is it something upbeat or is it something kind of grungy?
It's kind of something like upbeat.
Nice. I will not ask any more questions because part of the excitement for me is listening and kind of, appreciating the thought that goes into kind of deciding on the walk on music for every competitor. So you're going to your first invitational, you're going to be there, you've got your walk on music, you're stood at the side of the mats. How are you? Are you kind of bold? Are you strong? What's your style?
I feel like I'd probably be kind of like bold and confident, like kind of maybe sidestepping out on the mat and stuff like that.
Good. Good. It always feels, you walk into an environment and you have that confidence. Sometimes we might not always feel it, but if you show up and go with that vibe. Who do you kind of follow in the jiu-jitsu world that inspires you?
There's sort of like two, like some of my coaches and some like superstars and stuff, but I do really look up to my coaches like Jeff Lawson and Paolo, and Harry. And then with the superstars, I really look up to Emily Labour, like the Atos team and stuff like that.
Nice. What is it about their Emily's style that kind of, inspires you so much?
I feel like I really like her aggression, because obviously like I'm a bit aggressive myself and stuff, and watching her like aggressiveness as well, it kind of like helps me feel like I'm not the only one who's just really aggressive.
Nice. I think it's great to be fired up and to kind of, get through all of that kind of intensity and passion and whatever comes up. So what have you specifically been working on over the last few weeks to get ready for your invitational?
I've more been working on like speed and just stuff like that. Really, I can't really say a lot, obviously.
That's fine. That's fine. I won't dig too much. But so after this first invitational, do you have your sights set on anything else for 2025?
Yeah, I do. I'm really interested in doing pans, but obviously like the expense and stuff. So I'm kind of looking for sponsorship for it, and I'm looking to do young subs up in Sunderland.
I've spoken with a number of young competitors that are on young subs, and they do such a great job in supporting and promoting young athletes like yourself. So that will be a fantastic opportunity. Anything else you want to mention?
I've just won Euros, so it's probably like I'm trying to look for more hard work. So maybe put myself in like a challenge or something. Obviously like ENYO and like pans and young subs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Good. So more challenges, more aggression, and walking away with medals and successes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, come on. We're fired up. If anyone is listening to this, it's out on Friday. ENYO is only tomorrow. If you're listening in this time frame, it will be incredible. How are you going to deal with all the crowds, or is that something you kind of like? You like the energy around you?
I kind of like the energy, even if it was just like rather cheering for me or cheering for my opponent. I feel like it's just more like the energy and the vibe. Because obviously, like it probably helped me and my opponent's confidence and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Dad, you're obviously going to be cheering from the sidelines.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Sorry to call on you again. Darla, it has been incredible talking with you, and it was really great to meet you, and I'm looking forward to seeing your performance on your very first ENYO and your continued growth throughout the sport, because I think we found something quite incredible here, and it's only the beginning. And you've got a lot of years of kind of energy and passion, and all of your fighting spirit going forward. So I'm really looking forward to seeing your journey, Darla.
Thank you.
How can people follow your journey if they're not already?
I have an Instagram and it's darla.bjj, and that's probably where they can like see all my posts and stuff and like what I'm doing and everything.
Fantastic. Well, good luck for Saturday, and good luck for the rest of your jiu-jitsu career. Long may it thrive and survive in the world, because I think you're going to be setting it on fire.
Thank you for this opportunity.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tell your friends about this show, and as soon as the episode ends, I'd really appreciate you dropping the show a rating and a review. Thanks again for listening. Catch you on the next episode of the ENYO Submission Only Jiu Jitsu podcast.